Hey guys, Thetcglover here, coming with a video today. Sorry I've been away for a little while, but I'm finally back home from university, so now I have a bit more chance to make videos. I got my laptop back so I can now make some more dueling videos. But I want to show you today my Mermail deck profile. It's practically finished. I'm just missing a couple of cards which are coming in the post. So it's pretty much finished, and I'll talk about them when they come up. I'll probably use my editing software to edit in a picture onto the screen so you can actually see what I'm proxying. So you don't get the wrong idea that I'm playing a certain card when I'm actually not. So anyway, let's go into the Mermails that I've decided I want to draft into this format. Right, so I'm going by the mentality that targeting in this format, which I described in a previous video, targeting is bad. If you have cards that target a lot, then you generally will be in a disadvantage because a lot of decks this format can prevent targeting, or some decks have ways to survive targeting. If you destroy with heavy infantry on a Mermail, then the Mermail gets, Abyss Lyn gets another effect. It's worthless. If you try it on a Boojin, Boojins can stop it. If you try on the Noble Knight, Noble Knights can stop it. So targeting in general, what targeting would generally imply would be something like destroying, like using an heavy infantry's effect. Not so great, even though heavy infantry is at 3 in this deck. So I'm using another method to try and not target but still win the game. So let's go through the deck profile, and I'll talk about it when I get to it. So we're playing 2 Mermail Abyss Megalo. Oh, by the way, I'm playing in practically the lowest rarity possible because I want to play the deck first, and then if I like it, I'll bling it out to make it all fancy. So 2 Megalo. I don't like 3. Some people really like 3, but there are times when you have it and you have multiple ones in your hand and it clogs. I don't see why people play more than 2. It just doesn't make sense to me. 1 Abyss Lead, you get it with Lind. That's pretty much why it's there. And you can now use it again. 1 Tidal. Obviously, Tidal is at 1 now, so yeah, that sucks, but when you draw it, it's still a massive recursion monster that just keeps coming back, wasting resources. It's fantastic. 3 Teus, and that's the end of my level 7s. Teus is fantastic because you don't lose any advantage doing whatever you do with it. You can pitch Dragoons for it, and then you get to search. It's just fantastic. Sets up a lot of plays. It's necessary at 3. I mean, if you play Undyne Mermails, you could probably get away with 2 if you wanted, but I wouldn't recommend it. 3 Lind. Lind. The best card in the deck. Gets you your big monsters, it gets you your combo pieces. You have to play 3. People are like, oh no, play 1 or 2 because you get it with Sphere, so you don't need to run as many. Just play 3 Lind. Especially in this build, you need to play 3. That's practically it. 3 Pike and a Turge. The best play you can usually do is mid-game when you have Gunday in your hand and you have a Turge in your grave. So you go Mermail, Abyss Pike, Gunday, search for Marksman, this, special summon this with Gundays, blow up some stuff in the back row, make Bahamut Shark attack over the monster and do some shenanigans that way. Or make Exciton Knight, or make Shark Honors Knight when they come out and Lord Attack, not Attack and Legacy of the Valiant. 2 Aqua Spirit. Jamie the Kid 00, which I saw he plays Undyne Mermails, and I think he's made a very, very good build. He plays 3 Aqua Spirit, and I don't like that. I think that's a really, really bad idea. Simply because you just open up with it too much and you have it in your opening hand. It's good if you have a way to set up your graveyard so you can use it and lets you go into your rank 4s quicker. But when you have more than one of them and you have nothing to banish, it's 2 dead cards in hand which you can't get rid of. It's just not ideal. Just don't run more than 2. You start to see the clogging and you'll start to hate it, and you'll start to take it out and you'll realize that you need it, and so you will eventually find your way to 2. 3 Abyss Gunday. Sorry it's not a rare, but I managed to get 3 supers for the same price as rare. So Gunday is essential. Mono Mermail, the way that I play it, you have to play 3 because it's essentially 3 reborns. You bring back big monsters, you make Dracosax and stuff like that. So you have to play 3. Anyway, moving on to the Atlantean stuff. Obviously before that we played 1 Deep Sea Diva. I'll probably talk about that after the Atlantean. So I play 7 Atlanteans. The typical lineup. This format, the one that we just played in, you didn't have to play 3 marksmen. You could take 1 out and you wouldn't have to worry because there'd be less back row to deal with, less face down cards. But now that the format's slowing down, you can play 3 of those, yeah, and 3 infantry. The card is really, really good. Just having access to tons of Atlanteans makes for really good fun. Dark Hole, really good card. Book of Moon, put stuff face down, ram over it. That's always fun. You can bait out targeting with it. And Salvage. Some people play 2. I don't see why you want to play more than that. Don't play 3, that's for sure. But when I draw it, I usually have it live because I don't have too many of them. But when you run 2, you start to see it too much, and you don't have a target for it. Like you get back a Lind and a Gund or something, and you're like, it's not really optimal. I'd rather bring back 2 Atlanteans, but you haven't got Atlanteans for it. So you'll start to see it too much for when you don't really need to use it. 2 MST. There'll be a third one in the side because people will side Soul Drain against you and side maybe Macro, Defissures. So you just want to have your outs to cards that completely shut your deck down. And this is where my deck differs. 2 creature swaps. A lot of people that I've been talking to in strategy fed on Pojo, they were saying, let's put creature swap in the side, and I'm like, don't be stupid, just build your deck to use this in a way so that it wins games. They have Yamato on the field, you have a Lind, swap them around, attack over your Lind, get yourself a monster, swing for damage, and they lose their Yamato. They can't trigger Mitakushi in their hand. It does a lot of good things. You have to analyze the meta or analyze what you expect to play, and you realize that creature swap has a huge potential to be devastating. And apart from Lind, you can also Deep Sea Diva, give them the Diva if you want to, or you can give them the heavy infantry that you get off it. So there's a lot of different cards that you can get off it to creature swap. And for my traps, I play 3 Abyss Sphere because you play 3 Lind, and it's just a fantastic card. People MST it, you get a free, +1. Torrential, Bottomless, and Compulsory. Compulsory is great because they will try to destroy your stuff, and you can just bring it back to your hand and then drop it again like Megalo or something, and you still get to search for the sphere and you still get to resolve your cards. Bottomless. People are like, oh no, play Warning instead, Warning's better. No, because in some sense Bottomless is better because you will ultimately, when a format is slower, they basically play the same role except this one banishes, and that makes a huge difference. They summon a Dragon Ruler, you banish it, they don't get it back ever again. Return is gone. They might use DDR, but to be honest, that's just not really a big deal for me. I'd rather it was gone forever rather than just placed into the graveyard where they can just get access to it again. Bujins, it doesn't target as well, so you can just destroy something and it doesn't have to set off a turtle. And lastly is Torrential. Because it doesn't target, you can blow up your Lind and get yourself a monster, and they lose their monsters. It punishes overextension. It's just fantastic. I love it. Torrential is kind of really good in this deck, surprisingly. So nothing to worry about there. And obviously I didn't talk about Deep Sea Diva. Deep Sea Diva lets you have access to a lot of good cards. There's a couple of cards in the extra deck which it gives access to, which you will find that is quite helpful. Anyway, for the Synchros in my extra deck, I'm playing 1 Armium. You get it with Deep Sea Diva. And be 1 Amades. Now I'll have Amades on the screen here. This is obviously a Catastro just to use as a proxy. Catastro is good, it's just Amades is a hell of a lot better. Simply because you go up against a Bujin deck, and I don't know, I don't know what it is about it. It's just like, it just seems really volatile in the way that you can lose to everything. But if you attack with Amades, they shuts down everything. They don't get to activate Geargiyama. This obviously can't destroy something that's a flip effect. When it flips up, it doesn't. That's in a different part of damage calculation, so it misses that bit. So basically a vanilla attacking Geargiyamas, and that means you get access to their stuff. But if you can shut their Geargiyamas down for the battle phase, then why wouldn't you do that instead? So in that sense, if you analyze the meta, you realize that Amades is a hell of a lot better. Fortunately, it's coming in the post, so I'll get it very soon. And the last one is Black Rose Dragon. People are like, oh yeah, why don't you play Gungnir? Why don't you play Delorean? To be honest, I think I need to play test those cards a little bit more before I decide that I want them in there. Black Rose Dragon is still fantastic because it doesn't target. It's really good. They set up a lot of back row Fire Fist. You just go, just kill everything, and there you go. It's just important. Anyway, go to the other extra deck stuff. We have Abyss Dweller, because obviously detached dragoons, you get to do stuff. You can do it in the mirror match. When you exceed with it, you can essentially have a 2200 monster that can negate graveyard effects. Bahamut Shark, because it's basically a lot of the deck revolves around summoning it because of 2 Aqua Spirits and all the Abyss Pikes and the Turge. I put these 2 in there, Laval Chain and a Daigusto Emerald, but if you don't want to run those, it's not a big deal because you can get your Tidal quicker, but it's like, it gives a shit. Tidal will come eventually. And Daigusto Emerald is great because you go through your cards very quickly, so you don't have to wait for salvage or something like that. One Geiger Cowboy, because sometimes you make massive pushes with level 4s, and then you can just quickly burn for that last 800. I've noticed that I've needed it a lot and I haven't had it. Diamond Direwolf. Oh, so good. Now that it's finally come out as a tin promo, it makes my life a lot easier and I have to spend stupid amounts of money. Abyss Trite. This is another creature swap target. Obviously you get it with Bahamut Shark. You put it into defense mode and they can't get over it. They Dark Hole, you get yourself a free monster from the graveyard. Jamie the Kid 00 and other Mermail decks personally want to use 2 Trites so that you get 2 Bahamut effects off, so you can sort of sit behind 2800 walls, but there realistically hasn't been many chances for that, to be honest. This is a Leviathan Dragon, but this is actually a proxy, which I'll have on the screen, for Acid Golem. I had an Acid Golem, I don't know what happened to it. Acid Golem means that you can special summon it without any materials with Bahamut Shark into attack mode, and then give it to your opponent with creature swap. And that in itself allows you to single-handedly win games against many decks. Obviously they have Dark Hole, they have to waste their resources to get that thing off the field, but if they don't get it off the field and it's sitting there, they have to skill drain or something like that to prevent themselves from taking 2000 damage every single turn. And you know, basically 4 turns in a slower format is very quick, so you can ultimately just creature swap them an Acid Golem and they lose straight up. And I guess for my rank 2, which I need to quickly get in the mill, I don't know why it hasn't come yet. This is a maxi obviously, but it's actually a proxy for Armored Kappa, because you get it with Deep Sea Diva, Special Summon Infantry, Armored Kappa, you detach the infantry, blow up something, and then you can use a second effect to pitch a Gunday, then you can special summon during your opponent's turn, blah blah blah, so it's got a lot of good things. I also have a Master Blade, which doesn't target, fortunately, because you can target it with Compulsory, Book of Moon, they can target it with your stuff, you negate it. I don't have a big eye. If I did, I probably would put it in here, because this is 14 card extra deck at the moment, so I would fit room for it. When Legacy of the Valiant comes out, I might take out some cards and put in the new stuff if I actually get hold of them. Mermail Abyss Gaius. Some people opt to run 2, but sometimes I just don't really want to run 2. Like, 1 is enough. I don't ever need it more than that. It prevents big monsters from attacking, which is more important than the second effect a lot of the time. Being able to remove the effect of Yamato, it's not that important when you attack and then they crane you and it's like, oh, what a waste of cards. So, you know, this is why I generally go into Dracossack a lot more, because Dracossack lets you get some tokens, you attack into Yamato, they waste their crane so that the Yamato doesn't die. And then you use Quillin, blow up your tokens, it's like, So Dracossack allows you to basically set up the field, stop it from being destroyed by card effects, and attack, so you can bluff out, you can make them waste cards in their hand like Cranes and Honests and stuff like that, just so they don't lose the game outright. And you don't lose anything doing it, you just take a little bit of damage, but it's worth it. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole deck. I have a side deck, but the side deck is still being made. But one thing I do know is that it will definitely include 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror. This is completely irrelevant to my deck in particular, but if you're going to play this format, you might as well realize that when Chronomaly comes out, this card will be a side deck staple. It's very important in preventing Bujins from activating their cards in the graveyard, activating Yamato. It just sits there and it does a lot of pain. And even Armades can get around it, because Armades is a light, but when you attack, it doesn't activate, it just applies its effects, so you can get around Light Imprisoning Mirror, which is fantastic. And that's pretty much the deck. So yeah, comment down below how you feel about the deck, if you feel it's not optimized for the meta. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and definitely do tell me how I could improve the deck. Obviously, remember, this is the Armades, not a Catasta. I want to take this to regionals and things like that, and see how it plays. I have a regionals on the 28th, but that will be this format rather than the January format, so I have to go back to the way it was before. If you want to see my deck list, I mean, I might do a tournament report if I come back and I do well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.